Well, usually if we are lucky enough, we get everyone together, manage to get at least everyone together. My brother is based in the US right now, and we have a quiet dinner, a nice family dinner. So, and usually one of us will buy her an organic cake.
Organic cake?
Yeah, or she's quite strict on certain things. And yeah, and then we just cut a cake with the grandchildren, and that's how we celebrate it. Well, I think she has tried her very best to give us a very holistic upbringing. In terms of our identity as a Muslim, at the same time having an sort of open engagement with everyone, regardless of our differences. So that has really influenced me in terms of how I bring up my own girls, Safia and Harith. They have to be confident in who they are, and confident enough at the same time in dealing with everyone else without a shred of I wouldn't say racist, but any sort of uncalled for jingoistic tendencies. It was really, we feel very blessed to have a mom that's also a doctor. She's an ophthalmologist, so she was, and that made hospital visits very bearable. I mean, she would be there for us. I think for all my sisters, she was there when we gave birth, which is a big deal. But every single time when I was growing up, she would always, if my sister hurt herself, cut her lips, immediately we would get hospital care, and it would be, of course, UH, right? Pusat Perubatan Universiti Malaya. But because she's a staff there, of course, you do get treated efficiently with the best doctors in the country. So I think that was the most arresting moment. Even when my father's in hospital, or any one of us, that sort of care, I think is something very special. Well, the most trying time was 1998. My father was incarcerated then, and it was such a huge shock to the system, because we were a very close-knit, sheltered family. And when that happened, having to face the glare of the public eye and having to take up so many responsibilities, I think her role shifted. I mean, she was very much a supporting and supportive wife of former Deputy Prime Minister, and suddenly she had to take on this leadership role of the party. So it's my first foray into politics, and the dynamic was, I was there, I did my best to be there for her, and now I think she has her fears for me as well. Entering politics in Malaysia is not something easy. It's very challenging. So I think more increasingly, I don't know if I made her happy with all the decisions I took, but you sort of, most of the decisions you made is very much shaped by what happened in '98. So when you hold a position as well, she is the president and I'm elected vice president, we then compartmentalize a lot, and we try our best to assume that leadership role, not being influenced by familial ties. That's a challenge, but it also shapes the dynamic into one that's very interesting, perhaps complex at times. But when we're on the dinner table, we're very much mom and daughter.